Yes, sir, it's the University of Michigan, #1 in the hearts of all Wolverine fans and #1 in the polls of the media right now, all set to stretch their ponderous football muscles in going after win number 7 in their sustained and relentless drive to return to the scene of the crime of last January 1st out there in Pasadena, where the skullduggery of that Trojan horse proved a little too much for the Wolverines. But first and foremost right now for the Michigan team of 77 is to subdue an aroused band of Gophers here in Minneapolis who would like nothing more than to upset the best-laid plans of old General Bo Schembechler and his maize and blue legions as of today here against Minnesota. There's the kick by Rogan, and it's caught down there and taken by Clayton at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 28-yard line. A beautiful return by Michigan's very fine number 22. The first kickoff return of his career was Clayton that time. Ralph Clayton, the very fine Redford High School lad wearing number 22, the sophomore. So Michigan's backfield right now have Harlan Huckabee, as Bo just told us in the locker room, starting at the tandem of the I. Russell Davis at fullback, Ralph Clayton at the wingback, Ricky Leach, of course. The guts and glue of the maize and blue, Ricky Leach. Wide to the left this time is White. It's Huckabee deep and Davis close, 1st and 10 from the maize and blue in their own 28-yard line. Leach looks at a 5-2-4 defense, and then he fakes it off to Russell Davis. He pitches off to Huckabee around, and he slips. Huckabee slips at the 29-yard line. Remember, I told you this was a natural surface, and in the pregame warm-ups, we watched Ricky Leach. He stumbled once or slipped, cutting out and pitching out. That time it was the same play that he slipped on prior to the game in practice. He moved out to his left, faked on giving it off to Russell Davis up the left side, then kept it, moved 2 more steps, pitched off to Huckabee, and Huckabee tried to cut in at the line of scrimmage, the 28-yard line, and was dropped right there at the 29. It'll be 2nd and 9. Huckabee deep and Davis close. Ricky Leach in quarterback. He gives to Davis. Davis is hit right there at the 30-yard line. And so Minnesota's very fine defensive line, averaging 235 pounds per man, going against Michigan's offensive line, the front 7 right now, averaging 242. And the tackle was made by the captain, Steve Midbow, making his 56th tackle of 1977, number 78. He submarined well, used his hands, and grabbed legs. There goes Ricky Leach back for the first pass for the afternoon. It's downfield, and it's caught down there by Gene Johnson. Short of the first down, however, at the 34-yard line. So Gene Johnson collects the first pass thrown by Ricky Leach. It's complete for only a 3-yard gain. He was at the tight end. He went down about 3 yards, cut across the back of the formation of the linebacking contingent of Minnesota, caught the ball and was hit immediately back there by Brown, Keith Brown, the 3rd-ranked tackler for Minnesota. So Anderson is back. Johnny Anderson averaging 41 yards a kick on his own 19-yard line. The point of scrimmage is a Michigan 33. One man back, Bobby Weber. There it is, a 10-man rush by Minnesota, but John Anderson gets it away. He's caught at the 35, the 40. He's hit at the 42, and a whole host of white jerseys down there, headed up by Walt Downing, Mark Donahue, Mike Kidd, coming all down there as a 3-man tandem tackle at the 43-yard line, a 35-yard kick with an 8-yard return. So, for you fans who may have just tuned in, it's Michigan versus Minnesota. The Wolverines won the toss, elected to receive. In their first 3 downs, they picked up exactly 4 yards. On the 4th down, they punted, and Minnesota has the ball for the first time this afternoon. Happens to be Borgwin, and the quarterback is Mark Carlson. Carlson hands off to the fullback. It's Kitzman, and he's hit right there at the 46-yard line. It was a big question here. Avery has played most of the season at quarterback. His backup man was Tressman, Mark Tressman, number 18. Mark Carlson, the Deerfield, Illinois sophomore, making his first start for the Gophers here in the 1977 season. Carlson is in at quarterback. Slot on the right side with the I formation. Throw deep, Kitzman close. Under center happens to be Tressman. Tressman came in after the last play. Tressman rolls back, throws a pass way downfield. It's cleared to Michigan, 35-yard line. Down there by Whippasinski, and the first pass thrown by Minnesota was good. It was Carlson, the quarterback, who threw that pass for Minnesota. And in at quarterback, Carlson throwing for the first time this afternoon. Tressman was not in at quarterback. It was Mark Carlson, the sophomore, number 12, and he sets his team 1st and 10 on the Michigan 30. And they're calling it the 31-yard line. He's driven out of bounds on the far northern sideline. Somebody jumps off sides. There's a handoff, and Michigan and Minnesota men rattling each other up front. As part of the pep talk given by Cal Stoll, this whole city is sort of rumbling in the fashion that Columbus, Ohio does when Michigan moves in there for the big game with the Buckeyes. But this is a big game with the Gophers. They have the ball right now, 1st and 9. There is the handoff. It was a 5-yard penalty on the play. On that previous play, it moved the ball back from the 31-yard line to the Minnesota, or the Wolverine 36. On that last penalty, it was Minnesota offsides on the snap of the ball, and they moved it back, the officials that is, to the Wolverine 36, so it was 1st and 15. Throw deep, Kitzman close, and the quarterback is Carlson. He fakes the draw, he's back, he throws the pass, and shot down there by number 31, Bro, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Beautifully thrown and well caught is Mark Carlson, one of the finest high school quarterbacks in the country 2 years ago at Deerfield High School in Illinois, is making his first start. He's been injured so far in this 77 season, and a last-minute switch by the coach Cal Stoll in his 6th season here at Minnesota. So the Gophers now have the ball 3rd down and 3 at the Michigan 23-yard line. A 5, 2, 4, and there is a rollout. That's the fullback trying to pick up 3, but he is met by the number 1 defensive team in the Big Ten right now. Headed up there, Godfrey, Tedesco, and Hicks. Hicks coming up from the strong safety, making the tackle secure. So it brings up 4th down. And so the field goal specialist from Farmington, Michigan, Paul Rogan, who has 9 out of 11 field goals so far this year for a new Minnesota record already. 9 out of 11. He's a sidewinder, right-footed kicker. There it is, end over end, and I believe it is good. 57 yards in 6 plays. Minnesota takes a quick lead, 3-0, and the Wolverines now have their work cut out for them. A nod from the officials. Minnesota 3, the Wolverines zip. There it is, end over end. A nice, high, lazy end over end. Taken just in the end zone by Smith. He's out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to 25, and he's hit right there at the 26-yard line. Rosie Smith, cast Tech high in on that kickoff return from about a yard inside of the Wolverine end zone, down this southern sideline, all the way out to the Michigan, call it the 25.5-yard line. So check in Michigan's offense again. Huckabee, Davis, and Leach, the tandem of the eye. Clayton at the wingback. Wide to the right comes Clayton. Wide to the left goes Rick White. The rest of the team in the balanced line. And it'll be Ricky Leach under center, 1st and 10 on his own 26-yard line. Huckabee deep and Davis close. Leach looks at a 5-2-4. Leach pitches off to Huckabee. It's fumbled back there. Huckabee can't get it. Minnesota recovers on the Wolverine 11-yard line. The pitch was behind Huckabee. Minnesota recovers, and they are an aroused fan. The Gophers, believe you me, as the Wolverines, if it weren't for bad luck, wouldn't be having any luck at all right now in the first 6 minutes of this ball game. Mark Farrell is the man from Roseville, Minnesota, who recovered that Wolverine fumble on the Wolverine, call it the 12-yard line. About 16 yards in, they're moving it out to the hash line from that northern sideline. Remember, the field runs east and west. Up over the ball comes Slater. The line follows, 2 tight ends in a balanced line. Full house T in the backfield is Kitzman. And there is the quarterback, Carlson. He gives off to Kitzman. He's hit right there at the 10-yard line. Kitzman and Dwight Hicks coming in and making his 42nd tackle of the year. He had 40 coming in here this afternoon, and he's made 2 so far, the co-captain on defense. Dwight Hicks making the tackle there, diagnosing the play very well, is Michigan's front 5, Anderson, Greer, Melita, Kites, and Tedesco. Howard and Jolly at the halfbacks. Looking at all over right now, the quarterback in there is Carlson. Carlson is the quarterback, and he rolls out to his left. He cuts back in. He's down to the 10, down to the 5, drops at the 4-yard line. About a yard shy of the first down. A beautiful scrambling play by Mark Carlson, who went out to his left, tried to stop and throw the ball, couldn't cut back in enough to throw the ball, but he cut back in well enough to make a fine run down over the 5 to the Wolverine 4-yard line. Remember, the series started on the recovered fumble at the Michigan 12, so it will be 3rd down and 2 for Minnesota at the Wolverine 4-yard line. Full house T, 2 tight ends. There is Carlson handing off to Thompson. Thompson's hit right there at the 3-yard line. He did not pick up the first down. So it'll be a yard shy of the first down on the Wolverine 3-yard line. 3 yards shy of the touchdown. And will Cal Stoll go for broke, or will he go for... And the captain, Thompson, signals to Cal Stoll, we want to go for the first down. Ufer here, Minnesota breaks out. 4th and 1 at the 3-yard line. There is the handout to the fullback. Touchdown, Minnesota. It is number 41, Barber, the Detroit 6'8" Michigan lad from Chadsey High School, a freshman, 6'3", 210 pounds, number 41. He carried the ball 52 times coming into the ball game, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. His longest run from scrimmage was 34 yards, but he will never forget his 3-yard touchdown run against Michigan, the number 1 team in the country in 1977. The score right now is 9-0. Standing back there, number 13, Rojan. He kicks it end over end, and Minnesota leads Michigan 10-0. And we have 8 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A lot of Michigan men wearing maroon jerseys performing very well here today for Minnesota. There it is, Clayton at the 10, Clayton at the 15 to the 20. He cuts in at the 23, and boy, Minnesota is an aroused band, the Gophers. I can't remember a Minnesota team this high in a long time. You know, that's what happens in football. It's a game of emotions. And the Wolverine Gophers at the moment are just mediocre. I wouldn't say they're down, but they certainly aren't up. As Michigan's front 7 right now: White, Ken, Donahue, Downing at center, Zara, Powers, and Johnson. Downing is up over the ball. It's White, flanked towards the short sideline. Clayton at the slot. Huckabee deep and Davis close. Ricky Leach rolls out to the right, pitches off to Huckabee. He's up over the 25, the 29, and he picks up about 7 yards on the play. A beautiful block thrown in there by Ralph Clayton, number 22, opening up a hole for his tailback, the tandem of the eye, Harlan Huckabee, coming into the ball game. Huckabee had carried the ball 111 times for 562 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry, and that lad from Cass Tech, Detroit, has scored 5 touchdowns so far in this 1977 season. It's 2nd and 3. There is Russell Davis. He's up, and I believe he is shy of the first down. He needed 3. He got about 2. Russell Davis coming into the game had averaged about 5 yards a carry on 120 lugs of the pigskin against Illinois, Duke, Navy, Texas A&M, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. Michigan has averaged 32 points against those 6 opponents. It's Huckabee deep and Davis close, 2 tight ends in a balanced line on the 31-yard line, and then Ricky Leach hands it off to Huckabee, and Huckabee gets up for enough for the first down. Huckabee scrambled and moved into the 32-yard line. A block thrown in there by Russell Davis, opening up a slight hole as Huckabee just saw enough daylight to, well, wait a minute, they're putting the ball down between the 31 and the 32 now. It looked as though Huckabee was up, but they claimed that his knee hit at the 31.5, and if that's true, he didn't make it, because remember, Clayton brought the kickoff back to the 22. He needed to move 10 yards to the 32, he being the fine engineer and quarterback, Ricky Leach, and on 3rd down and 1, they're measuring right now, and it is about 6 inches shy. It is about 6 inches shy. Well, what would you call here? Johnny Anderson, who punted the first time 35 yards coming into the game, he'd averaged 41 yards, the leading punter in the Big Ten. He's standing on his own 18-yard line. There's a snap. It's high, but he controls it. He being Anderson, a nice, long, lazy spiral. It's Edwards taking it on the 15. He's back up to the 19, the 20, the 21, and he is dropped right there at the 22-yard line. So check in Michigan's defense. The Gophers lead in the ball game 10-0. Derek Howard made the tackle on Edwards on Michigan's second punt of the afternoon, but the only statistic that we're all interested in, Minnesota 10, the Wolverines 0. It's Kitzman close and Barber deep in the I formation. Is Barber with the ball up through the center, and he moves to about the 24-yard line, picking up on the play about 2 yards. The punt was brought back to the Minnesota 22. He picked up 2 yards on the play, so it'll be about 2nd and still about 8.5, 9 to go. Is Anhorn. There is the handoff to the fullback. Kitzman, he's up through the center. He's over the 25, 26, and dropped at the 27-yard line. He shook off a tackler at the 25 and picked up 2 more yards. Remember, the series started at the Gopher 22, so it now will be 3rd down and still about 4.5. 3rd and about 4. Line to the left this time is Anhorn. At the slot on the right side is Bro. There goes Bro in motion, and there is Carlson with the ball. And is he hit and dropped right there at the 30-yard line. He picked up about 2.5 yards before Johnny Anderson, the Waukesha, Wisconsin defensive left end, diagnosed it well, shook off a would-be blocker and made his 48th tackle of the 77 season. So Michigan now is going to receive their first punt of the afternoon. Kicking for Minnesota, it's high, lazy, and it's Hicks at the 37. Oh, is he buried right there at the 37-yard line. That gives you an idea. Minnesota is aroused. They have a big psychological lift here. in that they have played a little better than they know how to play according to their previous record this year. 4 wins at home, 2 losses on the road, and they lead 10-0. A 33-yard kick with absolutely no return. They're spotting the ball right at the Michigan 36-yard line. So check in Ricky Leach again, who coming into the game had thrown the ball 71 times, completed 36 for 532 yards and 6 touchdowns. So the Wolverines have the tandem of the eye. Huckabee deep. Here comes in motion Clayton across formation. Davis deep, and Ricky Leach gives it off to Russell Davis. He's down to 40, to 44, and picking him up and laying him down. That lad moved in there beautifully behind the blocks up front by Walt Downing and Gary Zara, opening up a hole on the right side, enabling their fullback to pick up on the play about, call it an 8-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and about 2. In first downs, Minnesota has 2, and they have 2 scores. Both times they've gotten the ball, they have scored. A field goal, 41 yards, and they moved 12 yards after they recovered a Michigan fumble to go ahead 10-0. Huckabee deep and Davis close, 2nd and 2 on the 44-yard line. Ricky Leach rolls out to the right, pitches off to Huck, and Huck gets no running room and is driven out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So it was 2nd down and about 2 for the first down, and Huck may have picked up 1 yard at the most. Huckabee cannot run too well on the sweeps because 2 reasons. One is it's slippery. Why, we don't know, but this is natural turf, and it hasn't rained here, we understand, all week, but this turf is still slippery. The Wolverines, obviously, aren't used to the natural turf. The last 2 times they played on it, you heard Bo tell us in the locker room, they lost. Wide to the left is Stevenson. Huckabee deep and Davis close, 2 tight ends in the balance line. 3rd down and 1 for the all-important first down for Michigan. There it is, the pitch off to Huckabee. Around the left side, first down to the 47 and dropped out of bounds in the Minnesota side of the field on the midfield stripe, right in Cal Stoll's lap this time. Keith Edwards, the free safety on defense, is moved in beautifully on that, diagnosed it, cut to the side, and picked up Huckabee after he had taken the pitch out from Ricky Leach and was driven out of bounds at the midfield stripe. So Michigan has their first down of the ball game. Minnesota employing here defensively the same type of defense that Michigan utilizes in that they have a 5-man front. They stem their guard, move them over a little, and have a split 5 with 2 linebackers coming in. There it is. Russell Davis up the middle, gets to the Minnesota 47-yard line. For Russell Davis, the clock shows 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first period. Minnesota leading in the ball game 10-0. The Wolverines have the ball 18 yards in from the far northern sideline on the Minnesota, call it the 48-yard line. They're in white jerseys, unfamiliar in as far as Michigan's real looks are concerned. There comes Clayton across formation to the wide side of the field from the tight slot on the left. Ricky Leach is back to the pass. He throws it down to Clayton. He catches the ball, goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Beautifully thrown and well caught as Ricky Leach has just completed his 2nd pass of the afternoon. He completed the first when he threw for 3 yards to Gene Johnson. Michigan just completed the 2nd pass of their afternoon, and that is good for a first down to the Minnesota, call it the 38-yard line. They turn around and all look at the linebacker for the signal. They have it. Now Michigan moves out after they get the offensive signal. At the slot on the tight side is Clayton, the short side of the field, and he moves across formation. Ricky Leach rolls to the short side, pitches off to Huckabee. He's hit, and he drops, he fumbles the ball. He's hit, and he pops up the ball on the 35-yard line. Huckabee was hit immediately in there on a blitzing free safety, Keith Edwards. He hit Huckabee simultaneously with a ball that Ricky Leach picked out, and so the ball is recovered by Minnesota. Jimmy Ronan, the junior from Pennsylvania, playing defensive left end for Minnesota. 16 fumbles this year, 2 this afternoon to put with their 14 previous turnovers. There's a handoff, delayed handoff to tailback, and he's hit right there at the 40-yard line. The series started on the recovered fumble at the 35. So on the first play after the fumble, Minnesota comes in and picks up 5 yards. It's Barber taking the handoff from Carlson, who incidentally is making his first start and making a very impressive debut here as a quarterback for Minnesota. Mark Carlson, number 12, one of the most sought-after high school quarterbacks in the country 2 years ago. He pitches off this time to the tailback, Barber, and Barber's hit at the 41-yard line. It was 2nd and 5. It'll be now 3rd and about 4. Minnesota, the first time they had the ball, drove 57 yards in 6 plays, and Rogan split the uprights from 41 yards out, and Minnesota led 3-0. They kicked off to Michigan. The Wolverines fumbled on the Michigan 12. 4 plays later, it was a touchdown for the Gophers, and they lead 10-0. They have the ball now. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Carlson at the slot has Bro. There is a drop back by Carlson. He throws the pass, and it's incomplete. Bro turned around and wondered where the ball was, and as he turned around to look for it, it was over his head, and coming up for Michigan was Dwight Hicks, the Wolfman. And so now Michigan has forced Minnesota here into a punting situation for the second time this afternoon. The first time, Terry Simmons, the Birmingham, Michigan sophomore, punting for Minnesota, will punt for the second time this afternoon, standing on his own 26-yard line. The point of scrimmage is the Minnesota 41. Michigan, of course, has Harden and Hicks deep. He's a right-footed kicker, almost blocked. There it is. There's a beautiful one. The hang time is beautiful. There's Harden up over the 15, the 20, and he's dropped right there at the 24-yard line. A very fine return by Harden, who took the punt on the Wolverine 10-yard line. A 48-yard kick by Terry Simmons, and a 13-yard return in there by Mike Harden. So check in Michigan's offense for the fourth time this afternoon. Michigan has taken 3 kickoffs. They've coughed up the ball all 3 times. The first time they punted. The second 2 times they coughed it up on fumbles. This is the 4th time they have the ball. Michigan is zipped, Minnesota 10. Huckabee deep and Davis close. First and 10 on their own 23-yard line. Ricky Leach under center, looks at a 5-2-4. On the long count, he fakes to Davis, gives to Huck. Huck follows Davis, and he meets nothing but Minnesota men right at the Wolverine 24.5-yard line. Mark Merrill, number 88, submarining, grabbing legs, and one of them was the ball carrier. This is an aroused band of Gophers. We keep saying it, but football is a game of emotions, and their daubers are sky high right now. The offense is standing over there. They aren't even seated right now, the Minnesota, that is. That gives you some idea. Boy, they would like this. This could restore gold to gold country up here, as they call it. Tight slot on the short sideline with Clayton. Huckabee deep. There is Leach back for the pass. He throws downfield, and it's caught on the 38-yard line. Beautifully caught back there by Clayton. Boy, you have to see that on the film, because he saw the pass was underthrown. He tried to cut back, and again, that slippery turf. He slipped, and he didn't trap it either. He was sure. He was right there. The head linesman was standing right there and saw that Clayton caught it. He was laying on the deck on that turf when he caught the ball about 3 inches above the turf, and there was no way he could run. He was already laying on the ground. So Michigan has the ball right now, first and 10 on their own 38-yard line, and a beautiful catch. Good hands by Ralph Clayton. There it is to Huckabee again. Huckabee's hit at the 40 to 42-yard line. Harlan Huckabee, the leading rusher in the Big Ten right now, the leading all-purpose runner in the Big Ten. Huckabee has averaged 112.5 yards per ball game. As a leading rusher in the Big Ten, his all-purpose #1 record now shows 144 yards in a ball game for all-purpose running. But this afternoon, he's been throttled so far here with just about 48 seconds remaining in the first period. Huckabee deep and Davis close at 2nd and 8 on their own 42-yard line. Wide to the right is Stevenson. At the slot is Clayton. There is Ricky Leach rolling out. Ricky Leach keeps it flipped right there at the 43-yard line. Michigan may change their cleats in here at halftime. Tonight, they are all slipping. Do you suppose they don't have long enough cleats?
I'm sure they do, Bob. Yesterday when they worked out, I only saw one fellow that changed his cleats, and it was Johnson, the end. And John Falk went in and got a new pair of shoes for him, so I assume that these guys, they tried them yesterday, but they are slipping. There's no question about it.
Okay, it brings up 3rd down and still 6 for the first down. 3rd and 6. Pro set. Wide to the left is White, and there it is, the end of the first quarter. Minnesota 10, Michigan zip over this, the Michigan Football Network. 3rd and 8 at the 42. Leach is back, cocks his arm, throws downfield. Almost intercepted at the 48-yard line of Minnesota. Intended for Ralph Clayton. The man who went high in the air with him was Foxworth. Ken Foxworth, number 17, went up with number 22 for Michigan, and so Johnny Anderson will come in for the 3rd time this afternoon. The last time Anderson punted, it was 55 yards. The first time it was 35. Both teams have punted twice. Minnesota has scored twice. Michigan has yet to move into Minnesota territory. They have the ball now, they being Michigan, on their own 42-yard line. Melita is over the ball at, or Lilia, check. Lilia's in, snaps the ball back to Anderson. There it is. A low spiral taken on the 14-yard line by Edwards. He's up at the 19. Eludes one tackler at the 20 and drops at the 21-yard line. You know, there's an old saying in football, when a defense misses tackles, that's a sign that they aren't really up mentally. And how well I remember Lundo a year ago at Lafayette. Purdue's Durking was fine down there, but Michigan's lack of intense tackling helped set up a lot of his runs. And so out here today, Michigan seems to be missing a few, Donald.
Well, they certainly are. And again, I hate to make excuses, Bob, but for some reason we're slipping and they're not. Whether they're just used a different cleat, I don't know. Take it away, Robert.
Okay, the quarterback, Mark Carlson, sets his team. He has Bailey along with Anhorn at the slots. There's the fullback up through the center. It is Barber with the ball, and he is hit right there at the 22-yard line. So he picked up about 2 yards on the play. The ball is at the 21-yard line. Minnesota has it, 2nd down and 8. At the tailback is Barber. Kitzman close. Carlson's back, throws the pass, incomplete. The intended receiver down there was underthrown, hit the ground, and bounced right up into the hands over there of Elmer Bailey, the St. Paul lad, sophomore, who is also a fine halfback. Minnesota, as both told us in the locker room, hasn't got any real breakaway speedster, but they have a lot of good, adequate backs, and they're coming in and out. You have Bailey, Kitzman, Barber, Thompson. There is Thompson deep, and Carlson's back for a pass. He's at the 15, cuts back into the 20, and dropped at the 25-yard line. The point in scrimmage was the 22. That gives you some idea where Carlson went on that play. He dropped back to the 15, came back over the 22, and was hit at the 25-yard line by Dale Kite. So it brings up now a 4th down for Minnesota. Michigan trailing in the ball game 10-0. Hicks and Harden both back as the Wolverines, as the champions they are, not panicking in any sense of the word right now, just waiting to get things underway. There it is, a long, high spiral, good hang time, caught by Darden. He fumbles the ball, and it is recovered in there by, I believe, Minnesota. Harden tried to field that punt with 3 men all around him. Remember, I said it's a game of emotions, a little bit of arm tackling on defense and not real mentally alert play, and that time a 33-yard punt is fumbled by Harden. He caught it and then tried to turn again. He looked as though he slipped when he fumbled the ball, and it was recovered in there by Borgwin, number 83, and that gives Minnesota a big lift here. Moved it downfield some 57 yards and had a 41-yard field goal. Then they recovered a Michigan fumble on the Wolverines 12. 4 plays later, they led 10-0. Now they have recovered the 3rd turnover by Michigan on the Wolverine 42, and it is Barber deep. Carlson back for pass, throws the pass over center. It's caught. Bailey is hit right there at the 40-yard line. He fumbles the ball, and it is recovered in there, I believe, by Minnesota. Minnesota recovers their own fumble. The pass was thrown. It was complete at the 40. He was hit at the 40, fumbled back to the 44-yard line, and it was recovered in there by Kitzman. Bailey caught the ball, fumbled it. Kitzman recovered it for the Gophers on the 44-yard line. A completed pass, a fumble, recovered by Minnesota. A lot like as Bo said last week, all the breaks went for Michigan. This week, the breaks are going for Minnesota. Will they hold up for 60 minutes? That's why you're where you are and we're where we are. Carlson back for a pass. He's being blitzed, and he's dropped back there on the Minnesota 46-yard line. Cutting in there beautifully for Michigan was Dom Tedesco with 6 sacks coming into the game. He slowed up Carlson, and then Kurt Greer made it secure. Tedesco really came in and slowed him up. Carlson evaded Tedesco enough to get 1 step forward, and then Greer came in and made the tackle secure right there at, they call it the 48-yard line of Minnesota. So it brings up 3rd down and 19. It's the full house tee, pro set. 3 men across the back. No, it's a shotgun now. The quarterback, Carlson's back, throws the pass. It's caught by Brow at the 47-yard line of Michigan, and he's dropped right there. Dropped right there at the 47-yard line by Anderson and Simpkins. 2 men in there. That was a pass thrown from the shotgun with Carlson standing back. It looked like the full house tee, and then we checked, and there was no quarterback under center, which meant that Carlson was back between Brow and Kitzman. And he took the direct snap from center, dropped back. Brow went over the line of scrimmage, cut to his right about 2 steps, caught the ball, was hit immediately. So it brings up 4th down. Terry Simmons punting here for the 4th time this afternoon from his own 41-yard line. There it is. Harden catches it at the 15, and he is dropped right there at the 16-yard line. Dwight Hicks caught it that time at the 17-yard line, and he was hit immediately. So Michigan with their backs to the goal line here, and we have 11 minutes remaining in the first half. A 29-yard kick by Terry Simmons for Minnesota. Notre Dame 7, Southern California nothing in the first quarter down in South Bend. Akron leading Central Michigan 7-0. some of the scores of some of the other games being played around the country. Michigan's Ricky Leach with Huckabee deep and Davis close. There's Davis with the ball up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Remember the punt return, or whatever kind of a return it was caught at the 16. He was dropped right there. Hicks was dropped at the 16, and then they moved up over on that play. Davis took the handoff from Ricky Leach up to the Wolverine 21-yard line. Splitting that 5-man, still utilizing the linebackers coming in there. Ricky Leach flips it over right now as he has Huckabee deep and Davis close. It's second and about 6. There is Ricky Leach handing off this time to Huckabee, and he's up over the 24, but that's as far as he gets. And he's wrestled to the ground in there by Steve Stewart, the number 1 tackler for Minnesota, with 66 tackles coming into this ball game. He's made 3 here this afternoon. And so on 3rd down and 4 right now, it is Michigan with a 3rd down situation, and Ricky Leach has yet to convert on 4 previous 3rd down situations. He now has his 5th. With Huckabee deep and Davis close and Clayton tight at the slot on the right side. Wide out to the right is Stevenson. There it is. Ricky Leach back for a pass. Can't find the receiver. Now he's running. He's scrambling. He's still scrambling. He's stopped at the 4-yard line. He slipped as he tried to scramble, and Minnesota's defense surrounded Ricky Leach. He turned 3 times trying to get a little running room or possibly to spot a man open to throw to. He couldn't find either one, and he was dropped there as he turned away from a would-be tackler and slipped at the 4-yard line. So Johnny Anderson back against the goalpost. Against the goalpost at the southern end of the field. The field runs. There is Anderson waiting for the snap from Lilia. The crowd is on its feet. A beautiful snap, and there it is. He gets it out, and it is caught there by Weber at the 41 of Michigan. He's hit at the 38-yard line. Excellent field position for Minnesota as the Gophers lead 10-0. A 37-yard kick with a 3-yard return as the Wolverines have it 18 yards in from this. The southern sideline, and the Michigan Wolverines are having their hands full and fighting for their collective number 1 lives here this afternoon in this home of the Gophers of 1977. What a surprise this has been. And listen to the band as momentum picks up. Big Mo is on the side of the Gophers right now. 2 tight ends in a balanced line. High formation. It's Barber deep. Barber has it. He's hit right there at the 35. He gets away at the 30. And he's hit as he cuts back at the 32-yard line. Boy, oh boy, beautiful running in there. And Mike Jolly finally made the tackle. The Melvindale, Michigan lad playing defensive right half for Michigan. They're calling it the 32-yard line where he was finally brought down by Jolly as Minnesota is blocking well up front. Williamson, Morrow, and Slater, the center, opening a big hole on the left side for the tailback. There he is. Carlson has the ball, hands off to Thompson, and he's hit right there at the 31-yard line. Picking up on the play about 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down, and this is a critical 3rd down because Minnesota has the finest place kicker in their history. They lead in the ball game 10-0. And Paul Rogan, the Farmington, Michigan lad, playing for the Gophers. And a drop-back draw play to Artis. He's hit right there, and I do not believe he picked up the 1st down. He did not. It was 3rd down and 1, and he is dropped right there at the 31-yard line. So it brings up 4th down and still about 3. Jerry Meter, diagnosing the play beautifully. The number 2 tackler coming into the game. And here he is again, as we said, Paul Rogan. He already has kicked one 49 yards. There it is by Anhorn. Spotted. It's kicked by Rogan. It's end over end, and it is no good. No good. It hit the goalpost. It hit the crossbar and bounded back into the end zone. We're way up north here at the eastern end of the field on about the 3-yard line, and that was way down at the western end of the field. And so Michigan takes over, and the Wolverine fans, the few that there are here this afternoon, breathe a collective sigh of relief as we have 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Ricky Leach on the fake pitch out to Huckabee up over the 20 and gets to the 24-yard line. Remember, the point of scrimmage after the missed field goal was the Michigan 20. Ricky Leach dropped back, faked to Huckabee on the draw, and then moved around through the left side and moved up for about a 4.5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6 as we have exactly 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the first half. Minnesota leading in the ball game 10-0. Up over the ball is Walt Downing. The line follows. Leach under center. Huckabee deep and Davis close. The I formation. Wide to the right is White. There is Davis with the ball up over the 26, and boy, he is nestled to the ground there at the 26-yard line. Minnesota in maroon jerseys, gold pants, gold numbers in the back of those maroon jerseys, and they are an aroused band of Minnesota football players right now. The defensive line giving up to Michigan about 8 pounds per man, but they're slanting well. They slant very similar to Michigan on defense. So it'll be Huckabee deep and Davis close. Ricky Leach at center. Ricky Leach is back for a left-handed pass. Caught his arm, throws downfield, incomplete. It was overthrown. Russell Davis was wide open at the 33-yard line, and he just couldn't catch it. It was off his fingertips. It was thrown a little too high. There's no wind here. The sun's out in all its October glory right now as Michigan's Johnny Anderson, who has punted the ball 4 times, 34, 48, 33, and 29 yards, is standing back on his own 12-yard line. The leading punter in the Big Ten right now, averaging, coming into the game, 41.2 yards per punt. There's a snap by Lilia. Johnny Anderson gets it off the side of his foot, not too far, and it's a nice catch in there at the 30-yard line. He reverses his field to the 25, he being Weber, and he's dropped at the 26-yard line. George Lilia making the tackle for Michigan, coming down after he snapped the ball back from center. Made the tackle, so the Golden Gophers have the ball on their own 26-yard line. A 46-yard pick by Johnny Anderson. Ohio State 14, Northwestern 3. At the end of the first quarter, Mississippi State 7, Southern Mississippi zip. Notre Dame 13, Southern California 7. At the end of the first, in the second quarter, Colorado 7, Nebraska 3 in that big game out there in the Big 8, but the big one right here in the Big 10. There's the head, the fullback. He's into the secondary and dropped at the 32-yard line. Remember, the point of scrimmage was the 26 through the right side. It was Gary White, number 9, following his captain on offense, Steve Midbow, moving in well on the block behind Midbow and picking up on the play about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Ball resting 18 yards in from this, the southern sideline. Minnesota now, the quarterback, Mark Carlson, looks over Michigan's defense, pitches off this time to his tailback, Brown. He's up over the 38, and he has a first down. Minnesota picks up their 3rd first down of the ball game. Michigan has 3, Minnesota has 3. Minnesota has their first down of the second period. As this ball game has been really a situation where Minnesota has capitalized on 3 fumbles by Michigan, and they moved one in from the 12-yard line for a touchdown. They moved 57 yards for their 41-yard field goal to open the scoring here this afternoon. There's the handoff to White. He's up over the 40, the 43-yard line. Meter making the tackle on the right side linebacking spot for Michigan. Iowa State 7, Oklahoma 7, first quarter score. Illinois 7, Indiana nothing in the second period in that Big Ten game. Purdue and Iowa 14-14 in a big ball game. Minnesota 10, Michigan zip. The Gophers have the ball, 2nd and about 5 on their own 44, and there it is at the 46-yard line, and he's scrambling for more yardage. He being Kent Kitzman, the Rochester, Minnesota boy, the sophomore, number 44, is dropped there, spotting it right at the, call it the 48-yard line, 47.5-yard line. Remember, the last first down was made by Minnesota at their own 38-yard line, so it is now 3rd down and about a half yard to go. 3 fullbacks in there, Thompson, Kitzman, and White. There goes White in motion. There goes Kitzman. They knew that. Up over the 45, the 40, and dropped at the Michigan 39-yard line. The scouting report said they would go through the tackle that the man in motion went to. White went in motion to his left. Minnesota went right through their left tackle. They blocked the Michigan defensive tackle in, the right defensive tackle, and moved right on the slant down there for about 13 yards. 1st and 10 for Minnesota at the Michigan 39-yard line. The Wolverine Gophers are not up. They are not mentally prepared out here to play this football game. Jim Becker will have a few things to say at halftime. There goes White, twisting, turning, 35, 33-yard line. 6 more yards. As a man who was shaken up on the play was Johnny Anderson, the defensive end, getting up very slowly. He's okay, though. He's walking under his own power back to the Wolverine huddle. Pickens and Simpkins making the tackle. 18 yards in from the far northern sideline. Pivotal spot for the Gophers. There he is, a rollout. The handoff is to Kitzman. He's up over the 30, and he's dropped at the 31-yard line. Picking up enough yardage for another first down for Minnesota. Remember, this series started at the 39. And now I believe they will have a measurement here at the 29-yard line. Johnny Anderson and Kurt Greer making the tackle. What Michigan did in the past, the fact that they've averaged 30 points against Minnesota in Bo's 8 years here against the Gophers, and Minnesota's only averaged 7 in return. Minnesota is set. Anhorn wide to the right. At the slot on the right side happens to be Bailey. 2 men back, and a quarterback sneak by Carlson, and I believe he picked up enough yardage for the first down. He did. It was not a first down. Just inches to go, and it means that Minnesota now has picked up 4 first downs. Slippery turf or not. There it is, a rollout. Carlson's back, cocks his arm, and throws incomplete. Over the head of the intended receiver, Barber, down in the left flat against that sideline, over there in the northern sideline. So it brings up 2nd and 10 for Minnesota, well within field goal distance now for their very fine kicker, Paul Rogan. 1969, 9-7 at halftime. Michigan came out and scored 4 times in the second half. Will history repeat itself? You better stick around and find out. It's the I formation. There it is, a draw play, the tailback, and he is hit back there right on the 30-yard line. Ron Simpkins used his hands well, shut 2 would-be blockers, and made the tackle right at the 30-yard line. So they lost a yard on the play, they being Minnesota. They have it about 24 yards in from the far northern sideline. Double wing T, 1 man back. Here comes the halfback, Bro, in motion. The fullback is into the open. White, he's down to the 20-yard line. White was the only man back of the quarterback. Barber went in motion from the wing T. The quarterback, Carlson, came back, saved the draw play to Gary White, who went up behind Slater, the center, and Williamson, the left guard, opening up a big hole and picking up about 7 yards on the play. So now, setting up a perfect field goal position from the 27-yard line, kneeling will be Anhorn. Attempting the kick will be Paul Rogan. He has one good for 41 yards here this afternoon. He's 10 out of 12 in the season, end over end, and it is, I believe, good. It is good. 74 yards in 12 plays. Minnesota leads Michigan 13-0. Who would have believed it over this, the Michigan Football Network? Rogan all set. He kicks. It's down to the 11. It's taken down there by Harden. He's up the 15, the 20, the 24-yard line. So with 57 seconds remaining in the first half, Minnesota kicks off after their 3rd score of this first half, leading in the ball game 13-0, 2 field goals and 1 touchdown. And that's been the scoring picture from Minneapolis, Minnesota here on this beautiful, cold, cool October afternoon. Michigan now has 54 seconds on the digital scoreboard here. Michigan has 1 man back now. This will be the passing offensive pattern. There is a drop play to the fullback, Davis, up over the 25, the 29, hoping to catch Minnesota off guard here in the sense that you'd expect with 54 seconds of pass play. They lined up in a passing formation. Remember, Davis can move a 900. He ran 85 yards against Stanford a year ago for a touchdown. He had a 47-yard run right through the center earlier this year against Navy. But that time he picked up on the play about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and about 3. 1 man back once again. Ricky Leach this time to Davis again. He has a first down this time up over the 35 and moves to about the 37-yard line. So Michigan now has 4 first downs. Minnesota has 5 first downs. We pause for station identification over this, the Michigan Football Network. But right now, with Michigan 1st and 10 on their own, call it the 38-yard line, there is Ricky Leach back for pass, cocks his arm, throws it downfield, and Davis can't hold it, almost intercepted. Davis turned around at the 42, caught it in his hands. It went out of his hands and down into the hands of Steve Stewart. Stewart couldn't hold it for the interception, so it goes as an INC, an incompleted forward pass. Ricky Leach right now is taken to the air 6 times. He's completed 3. The I formation, Huckabee deep draw play to Huckabee. He's over the 40, down to the 45, the 49-yard line, and we have 9 seconds left, and Michigan calls timeout. With 9 seconds left in the first half, Michigan calls timeout. the Wolverines could get a big psychological lift here if they could possibly propel that pigskin 53 yards in 9 seconds. Wide to the right is White. It's the I formation with Huckabee deep and Davis close and Ricky Leach under center. He puts Feaster in motion. Leach is back to his own 38, throws downfield and is caught by Clayton, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line with 2 seconds remaining at the clock. At the Minnesota 45-yard line, Ricky Leach has 2 seconds, but there is a flag. No, is that a piece of paper on the field? I guess it's a piece of paper. It's a white. So it is. That was Clayton who caught that ball at the 45-yard line. And they're bringing it in 18 yards from the far northern sideline. So with 2 seconds remaining in the first half, and the sun is really out right now. Everything is maroon and gold at the moment. 13 big ones to be exact. 13 to zip. Bo has won 82 ball games and lost 11, but he's losing this one. Ricky Leach is back. Cocks his arm, and he's throwing the long bomb, and it's intended to Feaster. He caught it and dropped it at the 3-yard line. He caught it and dropped it at the 3-yard line. The end of the first half. We'll be back with a big halftime show with Bob Foreman right after these messages over this, the Michigan Football Network.
You know, there's a complete...
Bob Ufer here, all set for the second half of what will probably be 30 minutes of the most exciting football we've had with Michigan in a long, long time. As a matter of fact, not since the Missouri game in 1969 has Michigan been behind at this point in the ball game by as much as 13 points. You remember the Wolverines in 1969 turned the ball over 7 times against Missouri, lost the ball game 40-17. Here they've turned the ball over 3 times to Minnesota in the first half. Minnesota has capitalized on 2 of those 3 bobbles to take it into a 13-0 lead, and it could have been worse than that because Minnesota missed on a field goal of some 48 yards when it hit the crossbar and just missed by about 3 inches of going over for another 3 points. Michigan has not seriously threatened. In fact, the only time they had the ball over the midfield stripe was late in the second quarter, and that was on their last drive, and with 2 seconds remaining in the first half, Ricky Leach went back and threw a long bomb down here along this eastern sideline, and it was in and out of the hands of Feaster at the 3-yard line. Another big ball game is Ohio State leading Northwestern. Here's a surprise, 14-9 in the second quarter. Halftime score from South Bend, Notre Dame 22, Southern California 7. Fourth quarter score, Kent State in the big game with Eastern Michigan University for the lead in the Mid-America Conference leads Eastern Michigan 29-0. Kicking for Michigan is LeBon, and it's end over end and taken down in there by Artis, and he's up to the 20 and is dropped right there at the 23-yard line. Artis took the kickoff of the second half. Remember, Michigan won the toss of the coin to start the ball game, and they elected to receive. So Minnesota here has the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. Check in the Gophers. At quarterback, it looks as though it will be Carlson, number 12. And number 41 is in. That means they have a Barber in at the tandem of the eye. It'll be Kitzman at fullback. Carlson now looks at Michigan's front 5. Tedesco, Kites, Graves, Greer, and Anderson. Graves is in there at the nose guard. There is the hit, and is hit by Kitzman at the 26-yard line. He picked up 3 yards on the play. Kitzman, the fullback, on the tandem of the eye, moving in there, taking the handoff from Mark Carlson. Minnesota utilizing Michigan's offense here, and they hadn't done that coming into this ball game, but 3 times. There comes the halfback in motion, and the quarterback has it on a naked reverse. He's up over the 30 and dropped at the 31-yard line. Remember, the series started at the 33, so Minnesota has to move to the Gopher 33-yard line for the first down of the second half. Coming into this second half, Michigan had 5 first downs. Minnesota had 5 first downs. Ricky Leach connected on 4 out of 8 passes. Carlson has 4 out of 7 passes. So in first downs and passing, they're just about even. But in the all-important statistic that counts, it's Minnesota 13, Michigan zip. There's the I formation. It's Barber deep, and Kitzman close. Pitches off to Barber, and he's up over the first down mark to the 37-yard line. Number 41, Marion Barber, running through the left side as Michigan's 5-man front just can't control Minnesota. As we said so many times over the last 33 years, football is a game of emotions, and the Gopher emotions are high right now. They're riding a 13-point lead over the number 1 team in the country.
Tell him to pep it up. It brings up 1st and 10 on their own 38. There is Carlson handing off to the fullback. White, he's over the 40, the 45, the 47-yard line. Jerry White, the freshman in there, number 9 from Texas, took that handoff. Quick opening, old-fashioned T-formation play. It was Williamson and Morrow blocking up front, and the man who made the tackle was Derek Howard. Howard coming into the ballgame with 21 tackles, made his 3rd tackle of the afternoon, and the ball rests 18 yards in from the far northern sideline. Double wing T with Kitzman deep, 3 yards behind his quarterback, Carlson. Here comes Barber in motion. Kitzman has it. He's up over the midfield stripe in the Michigan 48-yard line. So it is another first down for Minnesota. They needed about 3 yards, and they picked up about 7 as the Gophers, the last time they had the ball, moved 38 yards, scored in the latter stages of the first half to take the 13-0 lead, and now they're moving again after the second half kickoff from their own 23-yard line to the Michigan 48-yard line. It's the I formation now. Barber deep and White close. There's a hand up to Barber. Barber, he loses one man, loses another, slips at the 45-yard line, picks up 3 yards on the play. The tackle was made by Simpkins, helped in there by Meter. Both linebackers tandem in there, making the tackle on the ball carrier, Barber. So Minnesota mixing up the plays beautifully, going from their orthodox double wing T to the I formation. The shotgun they've only used once. It's the double wing T with Kitzman right behind the quarterback, Carlson. He puts Slater in motion. There is a pass. Carlson throws downfield. It's incomplete. The intended receiver down there happened to be Borgwin, number 83, the tight end who had only caught 1 pass in the previous 6 games. So it brings up now a 3rd down, still 7 to go for what would be Minnesota's 8th first down of the ball game. The all-important thing Michigan's defense must be aware of now is to keep Minnesota out of field goal range. And he keeps adding to his own record. He had the record with 9 out of 11 coming into the ball game. He now has 11 out of 13. There's the shotgun for the 2nd time. On 3rd and 7, it's dropped back by Carlson, throws over the middle, and it is intercepted by Michigan. It's Hicks. He's down over the 35, down to the 30, down to 25, the 20, the 15. Dropped on the 11-yard line, and Dwight Hicks comes in and makes his 3rd pass interception of the season. Remember how well he set up a touchdown against Texas A&M. Wait a minute, there's a flag on the play back upfield. Wait a minute, as I said in the first half, if it weren't for bad luck, Michigan wouldn't have any luck at all. That pass was intercepted by Dwight Hicks at the 42-yard line of Michigan. He ran all the way down to the Gopher 11, but it's nullified as there is a penalty on the play, and it obviously is against Michigan, or they would never have brought it all the way back up here. 1st and 10 on the Wolverine 43-yard line. What a tough break, but Michigan has come from behind before, and don't lose your maize and blue daubers over that one. There are still plenty of minutes left in this ball game. 11 minutes in the 3rd period. Minnesota, meanwhile, 1st and 10 at the Wolverine. There is a pitch back to Barber around the left side. He's tripped up at the 41-yard line, picking up about 2 yards on the play. It's Greer, Kurt Greer, number 95 from Detroit, Michigan. Cass Tech lad, a lot of Cass Tech alumni on this Michigan team. They move it in at the hash line, at the 41-yard line. A beautiful October afternoon, beautiful for Minnesota because the Gophers lead the Wolverines 13-0. I formation, Barber deep. There's a hand at the fullback, White. He's hit right there at the 37-yard line. Picked up on the play about 3 yards. Remember the thing I cautioned a moment ago. If they move another 7 or 8 yards, that lad with that fine foot, that Mr. Paul Rogan from Farmington, Michigan, number 13. Proving to be lucky for that lad here in the Minnesota uniform, who's kicked 2 field goals so far against the Wolverines in this 77 Classic with a famed little brown jot. 7-yard line, it's a shotgun, and he's back. Carlson, he throws over the center. It's good. It's good down to the 20 or 30 to the 25 to the 22-yard line. It was Brown, number 31, Steve Brown, the Wisconsin lad playing for the maroon and gold, who have moved after that penalty against Michigan. Evidently, it was Dwight Hicks shoving the man before he intercepted. Of course, that all depends on where you're looking at it from. Whether it's this southern sideline, the Michigan side, or the Minnesota side, the northern sideline, Minnesota 1st and 10 at the Michigan 24-yard line, way down away from us. At the eastern end of the gridiron, there is Carlson handing off to White. He's hit right there at the 20-yard line, picking up on the play about 2.5 yards. Let's pause right here with Minnesota leading 13-0. 15 seconds for station identification. Over this, the Michigan Football Network.
It's 4:02. You're listening to WPAG AM in Ann Arbor.
Ufer here, Minnesota breaks out. They have the ball right now, 2nd and 8 at the 22-yard line of Michigan. The I formation, he gives off to White. White gets over the 20, down to the 17, rolls to the 15-yard line. This freshman, Gary White, 6 foot, 195 pounds, number 9, electrifying the crowd here, the partisan crowd of over 45,000, the largest crowd to watch Michigan and Minnesota play football here in the Twin City areas in some 8 years. But now Minnesota has it. They're spotting it right at the 17-yard line. Wide to the right comes Anhorn. It's a twin set in the backfield. There goes the halfback Bailey in motion. It's Kitzman, and he's dropped right there at the 16-yard line. Kitzman was dropped by both linebackers, Meter and Simpkins. So it's 4th and 1, and Cal Stoll will decide right now, and if I would hazard a guess he'll go for the kick, because 16 points means Michigan has to score 2 touchdowns and at least a field goal with 2 good extra points. So Anhorn will kneel at the 22-yard line, and Paul Rogan will try and make it 3 out of 4 field goals here this afternoon. He's 2 out of 3. It will be a 32-yard attempt from the hash line. It's blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked in there, and it is no good. Automatic touchback. Automatic touchback. 1st and 10 for the Maize and Blue, and that is a big lift, because there's a tremendous difference, Lendo, between 13-0 and 16-0.
It certainly is, Bob, and I think it was Ralph Simpson, number 40, that blocked that, and it was a great play and a great effort by that defensive team.
Simpkins, you're right, Donald, along with Tedesco. Wide to the left in the slot is Clayton. Wide to the right over there is Stevenson. It's the I formation. Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach hands off to Huck. He follows Davis. He's up over the 24-yard line, the 25-yard line, and he fumbled the ball in there, but he recovered his own fumble at the 25-yard line. The crowd felt that he was deprived of recovering his own fumble by an alert Minnesota defenseman, but the officials saw otherwise, and Huckabee recovered his own fumble right there at the Michigan 25-yard line. Here comes the play in from the bench from the split end. Michigan breaks out now with 2nd and 5 on their own 25-yard line. Up over the ball comes Walt Downing. Ricky Leach is under center. It'll be Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center at quarterback. There he rolls out to his right. He fakes the pitch out. He keeps it, and he's hit at the 27-yard line. Ricky Leach on the option play. Minnesota diagnosing it beautifully as the man coming over was Steve Stewart. Ricky Leach has yet to pick up a first down on a 3rd down situation. He has missed on 7. Coming into this one right now on his 8th attempt to convert a 3rd down into a first down. It's a pro set. Wide to the right is White. Wide to the left this time is Clayton. It's the I formation. Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center. 3rd and 3 at his own 27-yard line. He may pull Minnesota offside. He's back. A drop play to Davis. Davis is hit right there, and Davis almost makes it to the 30-yard line on a great 2nd and 3rd effort, but he's about 6 inches shy. Davis was hit at the 26, and on sheer gut, he moved that ball 3 more yards to the Michigan 29-yard line. So it'll bring up 4th down. They're unpiling slowly down there as the clock shows 6 minutes and 34 seconds, but there they are. Unpiling inches shy of the first down at the 29.5-yard line. John Anderson now will attempt his 6th punt of the afternoon. 10 men will rush Anderson. 10 men with 1 man back Weber on his own 35-yard line. There is Anderson, almost blocked. He gets it away over the head of Weber. He catches it over his shoulder at the 26, at the 30. He cuts back in at the 34. He eludes 3 tacklers and is dropped at the 35-yard line. A 42-yard kick by Anderson, a 5-yard return by Weber, and the man who made the tackle for Michigan, Richardson, along with Howard, a tandem tackle, finally bringing down Weber at the Gopher 34-yard line. So Minnesota has the ball right now as they lead 13-0, and we're getting into a little short area here with 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. 21 minutes remaining in the ball game. Michigan's front 5, Tedesco, Greer, Melita, Godfrey, and Anderson had better pick them up and lay them down right now. Meanwhile, Minnesota has it on the 34. The I formation, a tandem of the I. Oh, he's hit back there. It is Barber, and he's met by 5 Wolverines. As we said, those front 5 should be up, and they were up. 3 of them. Tedesco, Greer, and Godfrey all in there making a 3-man tackle on the ball carrier that time, who happened to be Marion Barber from Chadsey High School in Detroit. All Michigan scorers out here wearing Minnesota uniforms. That's a bit odd. I formation. It's Artis deep at the tandem of the I. Kitzman close. Pitches off to Artis. Follows Kitzman, and he's hit right there at the 35-yard line, and Michigan defense is playing like they did against Texas A&M 3 weeks ago. Right now, the Wolverines are starting to play football defensively as McCartney's monsters know that there isn't enough time left to do any more fooling around out there. Not that they've been intentionally fooling around. Michigan team that has 58 Big Ten wins against only 6 losses. Only 3 schools in the Big Ten have ever beaten both: Purdue, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Here's the shotgun again, 3rd down and 9. Carlson's back, cocks his arm, throws it over the center. It's shot, and he stops at the 43-yard line, but he is shy of the 1st down. I don't believe he got it, or maybe that's wishful thinking on Ufer's part. Remember, the series started at the 34. He's up to the 44. They're going to have a measurement here. It is still about a yard shy, I believe. An official's timeout. The chain gang comes in. This will be an all-important measurement here because that was 3rd down and 9 on the shotgun. Once again, they completed it, they being Minnesota. The head linesman is putting it down right now, Bob Dagenhart, and it is about inches shy. Minnesota is punting for the 5th time. There it is. Simmons' punt almost blocked. A high end-over-end kick. It's a good Minnesota bounce from the 25 to the 20 to the 15 to the 14-yard line. Minnesota's getting all the breaks here. If the Wolverines are going to win, they're going to have to start making their own breaks. That's when preparation meets opportunity. That's the definition of a break in football. A 42-yard kick with no return because it was somewhat off the side of his foot. Hicks came up, couldn't make a running catch on it, decided he had to let it bounce. It was along the sideline. He just couldn't come up and field it on the first bounce. It wasn't that he wasn't there in position, but he just couldn't because it was along the sideline, and it took a real good bounce for the Gophers. 1st and 10 on their own 14-yard line. Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center fakes to Davis, back for a pass. He throws it downfield, and it is no good. No good at the 33-yard line. Rick White caught the ball going out of bounds, but they claim his feet weren't in, and Bo Schembechler is giving that official a little bit of pleasant conversation, I might say, down along this southern sideline. Remember, the point of scrimmage was the 14. Ricky Leach threw a left-handed pass moving to his left to Rick White down at the Michigan 33-yard line. Here comes Kurt Stevenson in with a play. And the clock shows 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Up over the ball comes Walt Downing. The line follows. Wide to the left is Kurt Stevenson. At the slot on the left side is Ralph Clayton. It's Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center looks at a 5-2-4 defensive alignment for Minnesota. Goes back, cocks his arm. He's throwing it down their field, and it is incomplete. Ralph Clayton is the intended receiver at the 42-yard line. Kurt Stevenson was behind the safety man. He has kind of shrugged his hands back here along about the Minnesota 45. But Ricky Leach spotted Clayton, who had outrun his man, and the ball was just about a yard too far. Clayton tried with a great second effort. Clayton, who has displayed excellent hands throughout this 77 season, because coming into this ball game, Clayton had caught 10 passes for 232 yards, and that one touchdown he caught in his baptism under fire against the Illini in the opener down at Champaign, good for 30 yards, but that's in the history book. Ricky Leach has a 3rd and 10 situation. He hasn't converted one yet into a 1st down. He has Huckabee deep and Davis close. He's back. He cocks his arm, and he can't find a receiver. Now he gets away, and he throws downfield. Way over. No good. Incomplete. Over the head of one man. The man whose head it was over was Rick White. Ralph Clayton was down further, tried to catch it, and had to trap it at the 39. And John Anderson will be forced to punt again from the Michigan end zone. Listen to the voice of Minnesota football as they sense an upset in the offing. This ball game is far from being over. There are 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. As Johnny Anderson standing on the goal line, the Michigan goal line. 2 men back, Weber and Edwards on the midfield stripe. Minnesota only rushing 7 men this time, putting 4 back for a good return. There it is. A Michigan bounce over the midfield stripe to the Minnesota 40, the 38. And the Wolverines down it on the Gopher 38-yard line, a 47-yard kick for Johnny Anderson. That is his 7th punt of the afternoon, and to give you some idea, he had only punted 28 times in 6 games. That's an average of about 4.5 punts a game, and here today he has punted 7 times, and we still have 18 minutes of playing time left. They've been on here about 5 or 10 minutes longer than they ever are in any other ball game. There it is, White again up over the middle, gets to the, call it the 41-yard line, picking up on the play about 3 yards. Minnesota back to the basic high formation that has served them so well here to build up a 13-0 lead. They took in at halftime, and they still maintain that. Michigan going after win number 44 here against Minnesota. Boy, oh boy. Okay, Minnesota sets their line. In second and about 9. There's the handoff this time to halfback Barber. He eludes one tackler, dropped at the 41-yard line. That was a pitch deep from the quarterback Carlson to Barber. He tried to pick up a block from the pulling guard, Holloman, but Holloman couldn't make the block secure on Dwight Hicks, and Hicks made the tackle at the 41-yard line. So it brings up 3rd down and 7. And how has Minnesota's Carlson converted on 7? 4 out of 14 he's converted in 3rd down situations. And here it is, the shotgun once again. Carlson back 5 yards, takes a snap from center, cocks his arm in the 31-yard line, throws downfield, and shot at the midfield stripe, and he's driven out of bounds, but he is good for the 1st down, which was at the 48-yard line. And that will be a 1st down, I believe. But wait a minute, Minnesota was detected that time holding. And so a big break for Michigan, the first Wolverine break of the afternoon. Instead of having 1st and 10 at the midfield stripe, it will be 3rd down now, and about, when they get through, 3rd down and about 24. And it'll be 3rd down and 22. So if, and that iffy bag is a great thing in athletics, if Michigan's defense can hold here with a shotgun. It's Carlson 5 yards back, 2 men flanking him, Barber and Kitchman. There's a quick kick by Kitchman. It's shanked, but it's a good Minnesota roll over the midfield stripe down to the 38 to 37, and it's down to the 37-yard line. Boy, oh boy, he didn't get it away. It was almost blocked, and then he did get it away. It hit on the Minnesota 45 and rolled another 17 yards all the way down to the Michigan 38-yard line. A 37-yard kick with about a 20-yard kick and a 17-yard roll. But that's the breaks of football, and they're all going to Minnesota, except that right now Michigan has the ball with 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Wide out, it's White. And the rest of the team in the eye. There it is. Ricky Leach rolling out to the right, handing off to Russell Davis over the 40, the 42, the 43, the 44-yard line. Big Russell Davis, as Stewart made the tackle for the Gophers on the call that they're claiming his knee hit between the 42 and the 43. So it'll bring up 2nd down and still about 4.5 to 5. The Wolverines have to put together a sustained drive here, or it'll be desperation football the rest of the ball game. Wide to the right is Stevenson. Wide to the left is Clayton. It's the I formation with Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center looking at a 5-2-4 defense. Then he fakes to Davis. He being Leach pitches off to Huckabee down over the 45, the midfield stripe to the Minnesota 47-yard line. And that'll be a 1st down, Michigan, as the Wolverines pick up their first down of the 2nd half with 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. But now the Wolverines are moving. Over the midfield stripe, they have it at the Minnesota 49-yard line. Wide to the right goes Rick White. Following him at the slot, wide right is Clayton. It'll be Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach under center. Looking at a 5-3-3 defense now. Ricky Leach hands to Davis. He's up over the 46, and that's about as far as they get. He picks up about 2.5 yards on the play. As there are 57 seconds remaining in the 3rd period, Michigan zip, Minnesota 13. What a football game this is going to turn into. I would suggest that you stay with us for these final 15 minutes and 44 seconds, because you're going to hear football at its finest Schembechler fashion. It's Huckabee deep and Davis close. Ricky Leach under center. Ricky Leach is back. There is a flag on the play. But there is a flag, and I believe Michigan had illegal procedure before the ball was snapped. The Wolverines a little anxious there on the line of scrimmage, so that will cost Michigan 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd down, and they will move the ball back somewhere around the 49-yard line of Michigan. That's between the 49 and the 50. They're blitzing from the corners. On that last play, they blitzed. Huckabee deep, Davis close. They're blitzing. Ricky Leach is being pressured, but he throws. It's caught by Clayton at the Minnesota 40, down to 35, and dropped at the 34-yard line. 1st down, Michigan, as the Wolverines have picked up their 2nd 1st down of the 3rd period, and they have the ball in the Minnesota territory. The furthest penetration by Michigan in this entire ball game at the Gopher 34. Michigan trails 13-0. Here comes Stevenson in, take Rick White out. The Wolverines break out, up over the ball comes Walt Downing. The Wolverines have Stevenson wide to the left, and wide at the slot on the left side is Clayton. Huckabee deep and Davis close. Draw play to Huckabee. He's down over the 30, and he's dropped right there at the 30-yard line. Harlan Huckabee picking up 4.5 yards on the play. It's Ronan making the tackle, his 13th of the season. And there it is, the end of the third period. You come right back with us because we have 15 minutes of great football coming up over this, the Michigan Football Network. Ricky Leach under center. Huckabee deep and Davis close. The long count. There's Ricky Leach, fakes it off, pitches off to Huckabee. Huckabee's hit and dropped at the 27-yard line. I'll tell you, Lundo, I've never seen harder hits. Huckabee told me that Michigan State hit him as hard as anybody so far this year, but that time he was hit again. He coughed up the ball in the first half when he was hit.
Certainly, and you know, when any team plays Michigan, the number one thing objective, I think, defensively, is to stop the option. And this is the one thing that they've been able to do today. So you have to give Minnesota a tremendous the great job they've done of just stopping our offense, Bob.
And then he hands off to Davis, and Davis gets down over the 25. Did he pick up a first down to the 23-yard line? I don't know, but there's a man shaking up on the play. And Minnesota will call timeout right now, and we're going to call time in over this, the Michigan Forward Bound Football Network. Bob Ufer here, all set to bring you the final 14 minutes and 21 seconds of this all-important ball game for both Michigan and Minnesota. Actually, when you think about it, Minnesota has everything to win and nothing to lose. Michigan, on the other hand, has everything to win and everything to lose here today. It's the I formation with Ricky Leach under center. There he is. He rolls out. He slips, and he's dropped right there at the 25-yard line. Ricky Leach tried to turn, couldn't get his footing, and slipped right there at the 26-yard line. Notre Dame 29, Southern Cal 7. A big ball game in South Bend with the Irish coming into their own against the old Trojan horse. Ohio State 21, Northwestern 9, halftime. Texas, the only other major unbeaten team in the country, with Michigan here trying to remain unbeaten. They have it 2nd and 11 on the Minnesota 25-yard line. Ricky Leach is back for a pass. Cocks his arm, throws it there to Clayton, incomplete. Throws it to Clayton, incomplete on the right side, out in the right flat. Rick White had gone down from his split end position, was in front of the safety man and heading on a slant into the end zone. Ricky couldn't pick him up on peripheral vision there and spotted Clayton out in the right flat. Threw to Clayton. It was a little too far, and it goes as an incompleted forward pass. And here is Ricky Leach with a third down, and he now is going into his 11th third down situation. He has converted one. Wide to the left to Stevenson. Huckabee deep and Davis close. Ricky Leach is back for a pass. He's being chased now by 2 Minnesota men. He dumps it over there to Davis. Davis has it and is hit at the 20 and fights his way down to the 17-yard line. Russell Davis on a great second effort. Remember, the ball originally started on the first down at the Minnesota 25, and Russell Davis just barreled a great second effort on that flip pass. It was sort of like a screen pass over the head of those two defenders of Minnesota who were coming in and putting the pressure on Ricky Leach. It was Freeberg and Ronan, and Leach just dumped it over both their heads to Davis, who was in front of them about 5 yards down at the Minnesota 23. He caught the ball, was hit at the 20, dragged those men to the 17-yard line, where it'll be 4th down. The referee asked the crowd to settle down, and that's all you have to ask them, and they will never down right now. Here it is, 4th and 4. Huckabee deep. Davis close on the 17-yard line. 2 wide outs to the right. Ricky Leach is back. He cocks his arm. He throws downfield, and it is caught, but he's short of the first down on the 18-yard line. Caught there by Davis. He couldn't turn around for running room. He's driven out of bounds. Minnesota takes over. The score remains the Gophers 13, Michigan zip, and Minnesota has the ball on their own 18-yard line. So Michigan's defense now comes to the front, and Ken, the vaunted 11, wearing white jerseys here, representing Michigan on defense, stop Minnesota, and they'd almost have to stop them here in order to have 2 more legitimate scoring opportunities with the clock showing 12 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. It's one man back, Kissman behind Carlson, the quarterback. Carlson on a quarterback sneak almost fumbled the ball and then recovered his own fumble. He took the snap from center and moved away evidently just before he had the ball, dove back in, recovered his own fumble. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Michigan's front 5 right now defensively. Anderson, Godfrey, Graves, Greer, and Tedesco. The linebackers, Simpkins and Meter. He has one man back, and there is the pitch deep to the halfback, Barber, and he hurdles one man, but he's dropped right back there at the 19-yard line by Simpkins. Ron Simpkins from Western High School in Detroit, coming in there as a sophomore, number 40, the number 1 tackler for Michigan, at 85 coming into the game. He's had 6 solos and 3 assists here this afternoon. McCartney's Monsters have performed well up on the first two plays, following Michigan's drive, which was short on 4th and 4. It'll be two men back. Kitzman close and Brow deep. There is Carlson back, and he's going to eat the ball. Hit right there at the 15-yard line and jarred, and he ohs and ahs from the Minnesota crowd as they saw Dwight Hicks blitz from the corner on a beautiful stunt, along with Tedesco, to make the tackle on the 15-yard line. So Minnesota's now in a punting situation as Terry Simmons is all set to punt. And he will punt here for the 7th time this afternoon, standing on the 1-yard line. Michigan has Dwight Hicks and Mike Harden back in the tandem safety. There is a snap from center. A high, long, beautiful hang time taken by Harden, and he's dropped at the 46-yard line of Minnesota. So excellent field position with 10 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. A 31-yard kick as Michigan's offense back on the field now. Ricky Leach, Rick the Peach Leach, will set his team now with Huckabee, Davis, and Clayton as the Wolverines have it 1st and 10 on the 47-yard line. Minnesota still using that front five with two linebackers filling the gap. The time for a station break as Michigan breaks out. Wide to the right is White. Huckabee deep and Davis close. 1st and 10 on the Minnesota 46-yard line. Ricky Leach under center. He fakes to Davis. Leach is back. Cocks his arm. Throws the ball way downfield to Clayton. Too far, incomplete. Just a high, long arch, just too far out of the hands of Ralph Clayton, down around the 6-yard line of Minnesota. So it brings up 2nd down. The clock stops with 10 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. Here comes Stevenson in with a play. Take Rick White out. The Wolverines have it right now. 2nd and 10 on the Minnesota 46-yard line. They trail the Gophers 13 to zip. Wide to the left at the short side is Clayton. Wide to the right is Stevenson. Huckabee deep. Ricky Leach is back. Cocks his arm. Throws downfield. It's intercepted by Minnesota to 35. It's Foxworth up to the 40 to the midfield stripe. Foxworth, Ken Foxworth, number 17, intercepts. The ball thrown by Ricky Leach. The Wolverines haven't been shut out in a football game since 1967. It's been 10 years since Michigan has been shut out in a football game. The Wolverines on the defense once again as Michigan's pass was intercepted at the 35 by Foxworth, and he moved up to the midfield stripe. Minnesota has it, and listen to the Gophers across the way. There goes Brow in motion. Carlson hands it off to Kitzman, and he fumbles the ball. Recovers his own fumble at the 46-yard line. Kitzman was hit at the 48 of Michigan, fell forward with the ball. It looked as though he was fumbling it, but he maintained possession, and he got it at the 45-yard line. It brings up 2nd down. 2nd down and about 4. Minnesota leading in the ball game, 13 to zip. Twin sets back there. Barber along with Brow. There's Carlson handing off to Kitzman. Kitzman up the right side, hit at the 44-yard line, picking up 2 more yards on the play. There are 9 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the ball game. The ball resting 18 yards in from the far northern sideline. Minnesota has the ball right now, and the Wolverines want it. He has Brow and Barber in a twin set. He hands it off to Kitzman. Kitzman is hit and stacked up right there on a 3rd and 3, and he will be short of the 1st down. Remember, the series started at the 49-yard line of Minnesota after the pass interception. He has to move it to the Michigan 41. They may have a measurement here. They are. Certainly Minnesota will demand a measurement. They're real close, however, to that sideline. Well, there it is. You heard the roar in the background. Minnesota picked up another 1st down. It is the Gophers' 10th of the ball game. Michigan has 8. Michigan digs in with that 5-4 almost now, a 5-4. There's Carlson handing off to White up over the 36 to the 34-yard line. The Minnesota linemen, after they made the block, they come up and they jump up and down behind White. Boy, talk about emotions, talk about adrenaline. It's maroon and gold adrenaline flowing on this field at the moment. Boy, oh boy, who said that Big Ten football is unpredictable was certainly right. Carlson hands off to the fullback, Kitzman. He's down for the 1st down to the Michigan 29-yard line. And the momentum of this ball game has turned to maroon and gold exclusively here with 7 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. However, anything can happen in a football game, and it usually does when they play for the little brown jug as they have so many times in the past. 67 times to be exact. Now Minnesota leading 13-0. There's a hand up to White down over the 25, the 23. The momentum, the big mo of football is going for the Gophers now. It'll be second down and 2 for Minnesota on the Michigan 23-yard line as the Wolverines dig in defensively. And the Gophers don't need to dig in. They're flying sky high at the moment. This will be the greatest win for Cal Stoll. Under Bernie Bierman in 48 and 9 and 50, Cal Stoll is beaming right now. There's a hand up to the fullback. He needs about 2 yards for the first down. He's just shy of the 20-yard line. Kitzman, the fullback of Minnesota, trying to pick up for the Gophers their 12th first down of this ball game. Michigan still not down and out. They're down a bit, but they aren't out yet, and never count a Michigan team out until that final gun goes off. 20-yard line. Carlson under center. Hands to White. White's hit by the maize and blue at the 19-yard line. The clock shows 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. Greer and Tedesco. And we have an all-Michigan crew here in the booth. Would you believe that my number 3 son of 4 sons, Tom Ufer, spotting the Wolverines, played for Michigan in 1942, 43, and 44, Associate Athletic Director. Our color man, Carlson, rolls out to the right, keeps it. Is hit at the 17-yard line by Simpkins, Anderson, Godfrey, all in there making the tackle. It is now a 4th down situation with White bringing in the play, Kitzman going out. It'll be 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6, 18 yards in from the far northern sideline. Bailey along with White. There it is, the handoff this time to White up through the left side. He needed about 6 yards for the first down, and there it is. There it is. 4th down coming up. Is coming in to try and make it 3 out of 4 for the afternoon. Rogan, check, it's Rogan. I'm sorry, Simmons is the Paul Rogan. It's Anhorn holding at the 21-yard line, a 32-yard attempt. It's kicked, it's end over end. It's good. Minnesota 16. Climaxing a 51-yard drive in 11 plays. The Gophers 16. Michigan zip over this from Michigan Football Network. Paul Rogan approaches on the 6th kickoff for Minnesota, end over end. Taken in the end zone, automatic touchback by Ralph Clayton. So Michigan will take over 1st and 10, trailing by 16 points. And isn't it ironic that the two teams that played the first football game of 1977, Southern California, is being soundly trounced by Notre Dame 35-7, and Michigan, who played Southern California out there on January 1st of 1977, being shut out here by Minnesota 16-0. A drop back pass, a left-handed pass by Ricky Leach. He's being chased. He loses 1 man, 2 men. He's at the 3-yard line. It's batted. It's caught by Gene Johnson at the 20. He's at the 25, the 30, the 34-yard line. The ball was batted. Ricky Leach threw it from the 3-yard line. It was batted at the 8-yard line, went high into the air, and Gene Johnson caught it at the Michigan 19-yard line. Had a lot of composure, this lad from Flint, playing tight end for Michigan. Took the ball, angled from this sideline all the way across the field diagonally for the first down to the Michigan 34-yard line, where Edwards finally made the tackle. So it was a case of Gene Johnson catching his 8th pass and his first of the afternoon. As Ricky Leach is back again, he cocks his arm. He throws a swing pass to Huckabee at the 35, the 40, the 45, the midfield stripe. Drops right there. With the clock showing 3 minutes and 49 seconds remaining, Huckabee takes a swing pass to the right flat. And he's just shy of the midfield stripe. They're spotting it at the Michigan 49.5-yard line. Number 84, Rick White, comes into the ball game. Kurt Stevenson goes out. Michigan trying to get a little respectability here and setting up a score as Minnesota leads 16-0. Wide to the left is Rick White. Wide to the right is Clayton. Huckabee deep and Davis close, and Ricky Leach in a drop play to Davis. Over the midfield stripe down to the Minnesota 46-yard line. Well conceived there with Michigan expected to pass by Minnesota. They pulled the draw play to Davis up the gut of the Minnesota defense. He was dropped there at the Gopher 46-yard line by Hunt, Mike Hunt. It's 1st and 10 for Michigan. There is a drop back pass by Ricky Leach. He throws a swing pass and it's batted to the ground. It was batted by big number 78 for Minnesota, who happened to be Midbow. Midbow reached up as it left Ricky Leach's hand, and I believe it might have been Midbow who deflected the pass that Leach threw from the 3-yard line that Gene Johnson caught at the Wolverine 19 and moved out to the Michigan 34-yard line just about 4 plays ago. Russell Davis, 3 yards behind Ricky Leach. He drops back, caught his arm, can't find a receiver. It's intercepted by Minnesota, and he drops it. Steve Stewart had it, couldn't hold it. Stewart was the lad who was shaken up and helped off the field earlier in this 4th period, but he's back in there. He wants to taste the fruits of a big upset, the biggest of the 1977 season. No team has been number 1 and been shut out in the 77 season. It's Huckabee deep and Davis close as Ricky Leach sets his team. Somebody goes offside. Now they're going to determine whether it was illegal procedure against Michigan or offside against Minnesota. Evidently, Michigan was detected moving the ball slightly before it was snapped, and so it will be a 5-yard penalty against Michigan, much to the delight of the crowd here. Naturally, a partisan crowd. Ricky Leach sets his team, the I formation, 2 minutes left. He's back for a pass, throws downfield. It's intercepted by number 11, Edwards. He's up to the 30, the 35, the 40, the midfield stripe, knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. There's a flag on the play, but there's a flag on the play. A flag on the play, and it looks as though there was flipping against Minnesota on that, but the intercepted pass still hangs high. So Michigan has just coughed up the ball for the 5th time. 3 fumbles, 2 pass interceptions, and we have 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining. Minnesota has the ball with Carlson under center at quarterback. 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining. 1st and 10, the handoff is to the fullback, Kitzman. He's hit right there at the 26-yard line, and every play now the Minnesota partisan fans will roar their approval, even if they lose yardage, because they cannot lose this ball game. It is 16 big ones for Minnesota. The Wolverines zip, and the Gophers have it with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the ball game. 2nd down and 8. Up over the ball comes Mark Slater. The line follows. And Carlson in his debut has been nothing less than spectacular. There's a handoff to Kitzman. Up over the 30, the 34. 1st down, Minnesota. 1st down, Minnesota at the 34-yard line. As the Gophers continue to pile up the yardage here. Minnesota has 12 first downs. Michigan has 10. The Gophers, Mark Carlson, starting his first game as a Gopher. The crowd is asked to settle down by Carlson. He hands the ball out to Kitzman. Kitzman is hit right there and driven back from the line of scrimmage. Oh, he's hit at about the 36-yard line. 16 big ones for Minnesota. Zip for Michigan. The Wolverines with 1.5 minutes remaining. Michigan calls timeout, and we pause for a word over this from Michigan Football Network. Kitzman up through the left side, picks up 2 yards, and Michigan calls timeout with the clock showing 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. Or check, that's 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining in the 4th and final period. The sun blazing down on this digital scoreboard. Believe me, this was certainly unexpected here in Gopherland here this afternoon. 2 setbacks, Kitzman and Brow. There's a handoff again to Kitzman up through the right side, and he picks up another 4 to 4.5 yards. It'll bring up right now 4th down. And so for the 8th time this afternoon, Minnesota will be in a punting situation while Michigan using up all of their timeouts here. As the Wolverines have found Minnesota a little too difficult on the Michigan push toward Pasadena. It's 16-0, a little over a minute to play, and Simmons is punting. It's almost blocked. It's high end over end, and it is caught at the 19-yard line on a fair catch back there by Mike Hart. So Michigan's offense comes in with 1 minute even, 60 seconds remaining in the ball game. as the Wolverines now go into an offensive huddle. Minnesota along that sideline across the way, the northern sideline. We've been coming up here since 1945, and we have never seen a more jubilant Minnesota crowd, players, band, but that's what football's all about. Michigan's Ricky Leach sets himself under center. Huckabee deep, Davis close. Ricky Leach back for a pass. Throws it over the center. It's caught by Davis at the 25, dropped at the 28-yard line. Russell Davis upended by Mike Hunt, number 84, making his 7th tackle of the afternoon. Hunt and Stewart, two of the finest linebackers in the Big Ten. No huddle as Michigan is in their 2-minute drill now. One man back Davis. 3 steps back by Ricky Leach. There's a flag on the play. It's caught by Davis at the 30. He has it at the 31-yard line. That would be a first down, but there is a flag on the play, and it looked as though it will be against Minnesota. Too many men in the field. Minnesota had 12 men defending against that last pass play. So Michigan will certainly accept the penalty, which means they'll get another down. And Smith deep. Davis close. Leach is back for pass. Cocks his arm. It's batted in the air. Almost intercepted. Just as it left Ricky Leach's hand, it was batted in the air by Midbow again. And it went high into the air, and it was almost then picked off by Snyder. But just a little short of the interception. So it comes back to the original point of scrimmage, the Michigan 33-yard line. The Wolverines with 28 seconds remaining on the digital scoreboard. To our left up here, Feaster is in at the slot. Wide to the left goes Feaster. Wide to the right is Clayton. Ricky Leach is under center, drops back, cocks his arm, throws it over the center. Rosie Smith can't hold it at the 39-yard line. Right in the hands, he couldn't hold it, and it goes as an incompleted forward pass. Smith caught 3 against the Badgers a week ago. He couldn't hold that one, his first reception of the afternoon. He has a clean white jersey on. He just come in at tailback for Harlan Huckabee. We can certainly only hope that Huckabee didn't strain that hamstring muscle again. But this has gone into the record book as a Minnesota win, and they deserved it here this afternoon. They played good football, inspired football. A drop-back pass by Ricky Leach, cocks his arm over the center, and is caught there by Marsh, and he's dropped right at the 43-yard line. Doug Marsh caught his 3rd pass of 1977, his first of the afternoon, and Michigan has just picked up their 14th first down. Michigan has 14 first downs as Ricky Leach sets his team with 14 seconds remaining. It's Smitty deep, a look-in pass, and it's caught, and he's dropped out of bounds, but it is a reception, and it's good. It was Clayton who caught it and fell right into the lap of Bo Schembechler. Neither of them, needless to say, are in a smiling mood right now. Up over the ball comes Walt Downing. There are 4 seconds. Ricky Leach throws it over the head, and that's it, I believe. Wait a minute. I don't think the officials are going to allow it to end there because the ball was thrown out of bounds with still 2 seconds left on the digital scoreboard. And so even though the crowd is out on the field, a young chap running with the ball, the official goes after him and says, "Give it back, Sonny. We still have 2 seconds remaining because the ball went out of bounds even though the crowd thought the game had ended." 16-0. Ricky Leach is back, cocks his arm, throws it over the center to Russell Davis. It's caught. He's down to the Minnesota 34, and it's dropped. That's all there is. There isn't anymore. A great big golden Gopher victory over Michigan, 16-0. Here come the Gophers for the brown jug, and they will drink lustily tonight from the little brown jug. Look at those Gophers go wild while we pause for these messages over this, the very upset-minded Michigan Football Network. Bob Ufer and Don Lund wrapping up one of the darkest hours in Bo Schembechler's football record here at Michigan. To the victor go the spoils, the little brown jug. The fact that Minnesota knocks off the #1 team in the country. They will be celebrating here in the streets of Minneapolis tonight, and they well deserve to.